Let's go back here with Guess the Game, which has been too much fun to not play again. This time I'm hoping to go through games 61 to 90. Oh, that's cool. I think this is maybe a new edition that it shows you the date that this initially aired, this particular game. So that's cool. Quite useful also because it'll tell me, it would be useful to someone who is better with dates. You would be able to know, okay, well, this game wasn't released then, so it couldn't be that. Nevertheless, this game looks like an old one anyway. If you're not familiar, this is a game where we give you a screenshot of games and then you try and guess what it is, and if you're not familiar, you wouldn't have picked the third entry of this. Or maybe you would, I don't know. You'll figure it out if you're not familiar. Anyway, it's very much giving the vibe of, well, actually, I was going to say like N64 era, although it looks a bit too high res for that, I would say. Because this is clearly a zoomed-in screenshot. We don't have any UI or anything. This looks like the upper right corner of a screen. And yet I can still make out enough fine details to see that there's like a grassy cliff over there and a rusted metal top of a house. So I was initially thinking like N64 PS1, but the resolution, if it were one of those things, those games played in like 240i. So if you were only seeing a quarter of it, it would be in like 80i. You wouldn't be able to see quite as much detail. So I'm thinking it's more likely like an early PS2 or GameCube game. I have no idea why it's saying to me Phantasy Star. I don't even think that was early PlayStation. PlayStation 2. By which I mean I think it was. I thought I had somehow in my head that was later PS2/GameCube era game. Right, so this is clearly like some kind of space thing. We've got some lower detailed people, but several of them. So I can't tell if it almost has the vibe of like some kind of strategy game that's meant to be played very zoomed out, because we don't even see any people's shadows or anything. So it's almost like we're not supposed to be viewing it at this level of detail and someone's like zoomed in really far, which makes me think like StarCraft or something. Has a high Metacritic score. We definitely got some kind of space aesthetic going, right? Is that a stormtrooper? I don't think so. So I don't think it's Star Wars. But I suck with space stuff anyway. Like Star Wars, Star Trek, StarCraft. It's all just Star to me. But yeah, it's kind of saying to me like some kind of Star Wars game, some kind of Star Trek game, or maybe like a StarCraft. I'm gonna go for a StarCraft. But then those are usually played. I mean, this looks like an urban environment. People are casually walking, maybe with some armed guards. So maybe like urban dystopian. So I'm thinking. It doesn't quite seem like StarCraft, because you don't often go to civilian areas in that, do you? Maybe it's a bit more large scale than I thought. StarCraft is my best guess at the moment, though. By the way, sorry, did I say already that I was going to try and play games 61 to 90 this episode? Earlier I was doing 20 an episode, and then I was like maybe 40 is better, and then now I'm thinking 30 is probably the best way to settle. I already forget if I've said that already. I'm very jumbled this morning. I say this morning, it's the afternoon now. Screw it. I'm going to be here forever, otherwise I'm just going to say StarCraft 1. Wasn't that, as expected? Oh, original platform, PC and Xbox. Right. So space and Xbox, my brain says Halo, but it doesn't quite look like what I think of Halo as looking like, and perhaps more importantly, that wasn't originally also on PC. It was later on PC, but originally it was like the Xbox thing. I'm not thinking I'm gonna get this, but a Metacritic score of 93. I mean, maybe Halo. None of this looks like what I think of Halo as looking like. I mean, I guess that could be a Spartan. Halo Combat Evolved is the first one. Let's give it a go. It's not a Halo. Genre RPG. Oh. So I was actually much closer on the idea of Phantasy Star. Crap. Maybe it's some kind of Star Wars RPG. Knights of the Old Republic is an MMORPG, but it would have said massively multiplayer. So is there some other kind of Star Wars RPG? I mean, this doesn't look especially Star Wars-y. Like, it could be. Again, not that I know much about Star Wars either. I feel like these two suns would be a lot more indicative if you played the game. You'd be like, oh, I remember the world that has two suns. Oh, is this some kind of Dune game, maybe? Well, none of the rest of it looks very much like Dune, I guess, but... Dune 2000! Nope. Well, that's Star Wars, clearly, I think. I'm just never gonna get which one. Knights of the Old Republic is the MMORPG. Oh, crap. How many MMORPGs they have? There are 126 results. Let me just try Knights of the Old Republic just in case. Oh, it was that. Okay, I thought that was an MMORPG, and I thought they would have said that in the genre. But maybe they're using the genre as dictated by some other website or something like that. I played a very, very small portion of Knights of the Old Republic, so you would think I would have recognized the art style, but maybe since I played it much more recently, it was like a remake with better visuals, or just because of having a modern PC, it had better visuals. Nevertheless, Game 62. Ooh. Oh, very interesting. Okay, so we're looking at a very zoomed out area, like lots of very rich greens. We got water and islands with like, it looks like a watchtower or something there. And what I'm getting from this is medieval fantasy anyhow. Cloudy, like we're very far away, as though it could be open world almost. I'm getting not a whole lot from this, if I'm honest. Well, I mean, what I mean is, I'm making few deductions, but I should have a lot from this, you would think. For some reason, my mind's taking me in the direction of like Fable and Elder Scrolls, but I can't really be either of those, because Fable, I haven't played many of either, but I don't think of Fable as being the sort of game where it's open world to the point of like flying around high in the sky like this. I guess we could be on top of a mountain and this is just very zoomed in or something. But this could also very well be like something like Dragon Quest 11 or something, and it's just like a room where you happen to have a view of everything. Let's try Dragon Quest 11. That's 12. Good job, me. Oh no, okay, wow, never mind. This is looking a bit more two-dimensional all of a sudden. Also another Metacritic score 93. Oh, I've got nothing. Owlboy? Can I say Owlboy again? One of these times it'll be Owlboy, right? Oh, never mind, it's very much 3D. Original platform 3. Oh no, you're kidding! This is Smash Ultimate. What an idiot. I was playing Smash Ultimate last night, or like 2 nights ago. Oh, that's like, okay, to be fair though, that's a bit tricky because this, I don't, oh, shit! It probably is the Dragon Quest stage, isn't it? Damn it! And that's why I was like, it looks like Dragon Quest! I forgot there was a Dragon Quest stage in Smash Ultimate, and this is gonna be like the classic mode, one of the classic mode platforming stages that I never remember how they go. I only got it from here because this is clearly Garreg Mach Monastery, and there's the sort of the creator whipping in front of it, and I was like, Fire Emblem 3 Houses? But this doesn't look like Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Oh, it's Smash, the only other place where Garreg Mach Monastery would be. I was literally playing this Smash 2 nights ago. I have to know what stage this is. It's gotta be the Dragon Quest one, right? Because my initial thought was it looked a bit like Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom, but not quite. How was the Dragon Quest stage? And it wasn't distinct enough to be Woohoo Island. So I think I was right that it was the Dragon Quest one, if I could only find it. Oh, DLC stages, they're up here, sorry. Yeah, it'll be this, right? Surely. At some point this swoops around and you see exactly what, exactly the picture we saw earlier. It has to be that. That is sneaky. I can't believe that. And I even said, it looks like Dragon, I guess it's Dragon Quest. I can't believe I was all like, maybe it's Dragon Quest, and I didn't get it from this. That's kind of hilarious. All right, anyway. Ooh, okay. This almost makes me think of GoldenEye, except I don't recognize it from GoldenEye, so I'm like Perfect Dark, maybe? Otherwise, it's going to be some kind of like fantasy style shooter from, oh crap, no, it is GoldenEye. I'm sorry, I'm very dumb. That's obviously patently GoldenEye. Wow, I could have gotten it in one try if I wasn't an idiot and forgot this, apparently. I was really nervous that it was going to be some, like, sci-fi 3D shooter from the 90s that wasn't GoldenEye for a minute, and then I was never going to get it. Because there were a whole bunch of those. Ooh, I don't know what this is, but it's cool. No, I do know what this is. Do I? No. At first I thought it was like, this was like a city skyline with a huge sun in the background, and it maybe still is, but all of a sudden I was like, is this Metroid Prime? No. I thought this was like the logbook of Metroid Prime where everything's kind of all orange for a minute, but I think I was actually right the first time. This is supposed to be like a city skyline with a massive sunrise in the background. But if that's the case, what game could that be? Hotline Miami? You got me. Let's see if I can spell Miami. I don't actually know much about Hotline. What? I was literally just about to say I don't know much about Hotline Miami. Does it even have this pixel art kind of style? I was only like 30% confident that that was the kind of style Hotline Miami had. I have no idea what Hotline Miami is. It's like a shooter game, kind of, but like top down, right? You commit massacres against a local mafia. Oh, good. That was what I remembered. This game was notoriously just like super gruesome and stuff. How the hell did I get Hotline Miami from this when I don't even know anything about Hotline Miami? Just goes to show you don't know what you know until you know it. Wow. Oh, actually, this feels like I should recognize it. Oh, it's a really cool style. Crap, I feel like I've played this. Oh, it's gonna be some really artsy game in a good way. Oh, nuts. It's like, it's not Franbo, but I haven't played Franbo, but it'll be something like Franbo, you know, with like, that's kind of got this creepy and cute aesthetic. Oh, Misfortune? Was that out in 2022? It's called Little Misfortune, isn't it? Yeah, sorry, that's the one. Oh, no, nothing close. Sorry. No, nowhere even slightly close. What am I looking at here? It's some hair. It's not a Saints Row, is it? It almost looks like it could be a Saints Row custom character. With how, like, thick the hair is and everything. Screw it, I'm gonna guess Saints Row... It doesn't look like 4, so 3? Then Saints Row the Third is what it's actually called. Oh, Dr. Acula Kate. The doctor is in, my dear. Never mind. It's gonna be some kind of goth garb. Okay, you would definitely know if you've done this. So it's some kind of, like... There's no chance it's Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, is it? Which is... somewhere in here. Masquerade. What? Where's Masquerade? Vampire the Masquerade. Bloodlines. Why is Bloodlines 2 the only thing that shows up? Whatever, Bloodlines 2. It's not a Vampire the Masquerade game. Genre music. Oh, it's a Guitar Hero then, I guess. Sorry. Yeah, no, okay, I could get that from this. This looks an awful lot like one of them. Well, it's a Guitar Hero or a Rock Band. It's one of those bunch. Yeah, no doubt that's why I recognize this. So it's not quite an artsy game in the way I thought. I totally see this being a Guitar Hero custom character now. Or even one of the default ones. Wow, that was really a wild assortment of guesses to end up a Guitar Hero. I'm gonna guess Guitar Hero 3 because it's the most popular one. From what I know, really. Okay, so it's not a Guitar Hero, but it's just Rock Band 1 then, I guess? Guitar Hero, one of them had custom characters, right? Congratulations, I've reached a new rank of gamer. Good for me. Guess the cover. Oh, that's a different thing. Never mind, we'll ignore that for now. Wow, okay, so that was pretty pathetic. Had I played Rock Band more recently, I probably would have gotten this as a Rock Band custom character. Or indeed, I remember the UI of the store. There was some funny character stuff you can make in that game. Yeah, genre music was the one that really helped there. I probably wouldn't have even got it from Quick Play, to be honest. Oh, interesting. Okay, so we've got either an actual PS1 era game or something styled to be that way. We got a big finish line, so... Well, that could be misleading. I would assume then that it's a racing game, but that could be... This could be like one minigame in a larger game. Someone with who's wearing like a white shirt with like a blue vest or something? Could almost be like a cop. I think I'm going to need to see more than this. It's either 64 or PS1, though, would be my guess. Or a new game style to be like that. What kind of racing games do I know for the 64? Because I don't know any for PS1. Mario Kart 64, Diddy Kong Racing, Mickey Speedway USA, but it doesn't look quite like any of those. I mean, maybe it's Mickey Speedway? No, it can't be Mickey Speedway USA, because those are looping tracks. If only I could figure out who this person was, this would be a lot easier. The hell kind of racing games were on the 64? And is it a racing game? I'm not sure what it is. Something about the style of texturing says more 64 to me than PS1. I guess because PS1, there's that weird stretchy unfiltered texture thing, whereas the 64 tended to go with the approach of the more filtered texture. But I don't know if that was just a designer choice or like a hardware thing, because I'm not quite an expert on that sort of thing. But it definitely says more 64 to me than PS1. I don't know why my mind keeps going to this I know there's a Toy Story game on the 64, at least I think I do. And maybe there was some kind of racing minigame in that. This is an awful guess, but my gut has been surprisingly on it recently. Oh, Skate. Okay, so it's Tony Hawk. Right, sorry, that makes a lot more sense. Tony Hawk. Ooh, now do I know which one was on 64? Or PS1 or whatever this is. I mean, I think it'll be Pro Skater or Pro Skater 2. Underground was the GameCube. No, Underground was DS? Well, Proving Ground was DS, right? So Underground is GameCube. So Pro Skater is surely 64 PS1. Crap. It'll just be the first one, right? Okay, yeah. They've been pretty good about, like, when there's a series with a whole bunch of them, that could be any of them, and it's the first one in the series they've done, they usually just pick the first one so far. This is a pretty telling screenshot number 2, I gotta say. So this is from some other mode where you do a little, like, race, I suppose, but this is pretty telling. What are the other ones? How could it get much clearer than that, actually? Well, sports skateboarding, I guess, the more information you have. I mean, what? There's not really much to Tony Hawk. Yeah, I guess that would help. It's kind of hard to show much without making it pretty clear that it's a skateboarding game, I guess. So fair play there. Oh, this is Super Mario Galaxy. We're playing this on the channel presently. Look at this. It's either Galaxy or Galaxy 2 anyway, but I think it's Galaxy 1. Hell yeah! Come on, I've been running through those flowers for the past week. How would I not recognize them? Oh yeah, and there's the B Galaxy. Well, I shouldn't skip ahead too much in case I'm going to spoil stuff that we're about to do in the playthrough. But Mario Galaxy, that's an easy one enough. Oh, this is Oberdin, right? I have not played it, but I've heard good things about it and seen little bits here and there, and this is the art style I seem to always recognize with it. Very, very cool looking. So from what I understand, it's like a puzzle game where a puzzle mystery game kind of where you're traveling around this kind of like ethereal memory of a shipwreck, trying to figure out what happened there and piece together who all these figures you're seeing are, but they obviously don't all like wander around with name tags or anything. So you have to piece it together from context clues and then make educated guesses and stuff. It sounds ridiculously cool. Why does it say you can buy it on Windows from eBay? I guess maybe a hard copy. But it's like a newer game, right? Somewhat? How new? They'll tell you the release date, 2018. So are they really selling PC games physical on eBay all that much these days? I guess it could be like a download code or something. Ooh. Okay. Very colorful. There's a game that I don't know the name of that's like, it's kind of like a military strategy RPG with an anime style, and it's making me think of that, but I don't know the name, so I won't get it. Not Rune Factory. That's what it makes me think of anyway. This looks like some kind of like military FOB, almost. Although it could almost be some kind of like futuristic survival game, something like Planet Crafter. It's not Planet Crafter, or even like an Atelier game, but it looks too sci-fi for Atelier, right? Those are usually a bit more medieval fantasy. If only I could remember the name of the anime game I'm thinking that's like it's kind of like an XCOM or a Fire Emblem, I think. But with but everyone's using like assault rifles and stuff. From what little I know of it, but I couldn't tell you the name for the life of me. I may as well just guess an Atelier game though, because I don't think I'm gonna come up with the one I'm actually looking for. Atelier Annie, that's the one. Actually, that's the PS1 one, isn't it? So that's dumb. Never mind. This is definitely not that anime military shooter game thing I was thinking of. It almost has the aesthetic and vibe of like a tycoon game of some kind. But then what the hell is this about? Could it be Zoo Tycoon? Is Zoo Tycoon the 3D one? PC, PS4, Xbox One. Now all of a sudden this looks a lot more like... It looks like Fortnite is what it makes me think of. But we already had Fortnite, didn't we? Did we? I thought we had. This looks an awful lot like Fortnite though, doesn't it? Oh, okay, never mind. Did we not already do that? I probably guessed Fortnite earlier and like just thought it was like that. Because this looked a little Fortnite-ish to me. So I thought this car was in motion, and I didn't really think that was much of a thing that was going on in Fortnite. And if I can see this being Fortnite in hindsight. Huh. I could have sworn we had Fortnite already. I must be thinking of some other team shooter like that. Or not necessarily team shooter, but big group shooter anyway. Nevertheless, carrying on here. Ooh, I'm getting strong vibes of I should know this from this. It almost makes me want to say Magica. Not Magica. What's the other one? Is it just called Wizard? The platform game where you're all like wizards and rangers and stuff. But it also gives me like moderate Uncharted vibes. You know what? Actually, even less so this big dramatic ornate thing in the background. I'm feeling like this pillar with vines and stuff on it looks more important because it looks like something you'd actually be climbing around on and dealing with. The art style is colorful, so it's not quite like one of those very realistic prestige-y kind of games. It's not like an Uncharted or a Far Cry or anything like that. It's like a little more stylized and perhaps fantastical than that. I feel like I should recognize it. The vines especially are like on this cracked pillar. Like it almost makes me think of Shadow of the Colossus, the remake, but except I have no idea what this would be in Shadow of the Colossus. I'm gonna guess I think it's just called Wizard. Or maybe Wizardry. Maybe that's what the game is called. I don't know what Wizardry it would be. Wizardry 5, Heart of the Maelstrom, of course. Never mind. Okay, looking a little more fantasy open. Oh, could this be one of the open world Star Wars is? Oh, or it could be... Also, it's starting to look a little Xenoblade, isn't it? It looks almost a little too good for Xenoblade, because if it looks looking like any of the Xenoblades, it's looking like Xenoblade 1. Again, not that I've played them. With the big rolling, like, rocky hills and everything. If I played the game, I would definitely recognize these symbols. They look like some kind of puzzle, like you're supposed to use a specific spell on this or something. It's actually kind of what's tripping me up, because... I'm getting strong vibes of one of the Star Wars open world-ish games, not the newest one, Rebellion. What's it actually called? Outlaws, like one of Fallen Order or The Last Jedi. What's it actually called? Last Jedi is one of the actual movies, isn't it? What are the other ones called? Force Unleashed, is that? Fallen Order and Force Unleashed, I think, are the two with like Cal Kestis, right? Is that the actor's name or the character's name? I think that's the character's name, surely. I only know bits and pieces about it like that. It gives me that kind of vibe, but also kind of Xenoblade 1. Points for Xenoblade 1, it looks a little bright and colorful for Star Wars, I would have said. Not that Star Wars isn't. And also a little less alien. And it looks a bit open world, like you could probably run to these mountains in a way that I think Star Wars, the Jedi Fallen Order and... I already forgot the other one. Force Unleashed. Oh no, I'm sorry. Jedi Outcast? Whatever, you know the ones I mean anyway, where there's like, it's like a Soulsborne, it's that kind of like action RPG aesthetic of Soulsborns with like a bit of platforming and other stuff thrown in. That Star Wars game with the stars that do with the red hair. Whatever duology that is. I think there are only 2 games. It's either one of those or Xenoblade is what I'm thinking right now, and I'm gonna look like a real idiot if it turns out to be like Destiny or something. And points in favor of Star Wars is this little thing here looks a bit like a puzzle sort of thing, or like some kind of encampment you would do in an open world. And I have only played Xenoblade X, but Xenoblade's open world does not, in my eyes, have like little puzzles to do in around the world in the same way something like I could see something like Jedi Outcast, Survivor, etc. doing. So I'm gonna go Jedi. I just don't know which one to do. Survivor, Fallen Order. Okay, so it's not a Star Wars at all. Original platform PS4. So it's not a Xenoblade either. Okay, so I'm nowhere close. And you can cut all of that in editing me, because I just chatted on about how it was either Star Wars or Xenoblade for like an hour. Not an hour, that's apocalyptic. Oh, I so feel like I should recognize it. God of War, were they... those God of War games? Like this one that I haven't opened yet? Were they by chance PS4 exclusives? I kind of thought they were on Xbox and PC and stuff as well. But I could see them being kind of dramatic but colorful like this. And I'm kind of having nothing else come to my mind. But they were surely on Xbox, weren't they? Because the original God of Wars were all Xbox. Oh, it is a God of War. Okay, never mind. Sorry, so it'll just be the God of War with no subtitle, right? The newish one, the one I just showed you. The cover of, probably. Right, okay. Very interesting. That's funny because I always think of the series as being very... much some of them on Xbox. Guess not. Well, I probably should have known that because Kratos is in PlayStation All-Stars, so I don't know why I thought that God of War was an Xbox thing ever. That was just a case of not knowing what games are on what platforms. Good job, me. I suppose I did guess, the second they told me PS4, the first guess I had was God of War for some reason. Even though I thought it was on Xbox. That was just an idiotic round altogether. Nevertheless, we're 10 down. Okay, this kind of could be Skyrim. It kind of very much could be Skyrim. I don't recognize these flowers, but like the river in the background there and like the gray, this particular kind of grass with like a bunch of little flowers, those flowers over there look very Skyrim. I think this is Skyrim. If it's not Skyrim, I might have a few other guesses, but it's gotta be Skyrim, right? Yeah, that looks very Skyrim-ish. You do a lot of your time sifting through flowers in that game, so that was a pretty kind first example. I wouldn't have guessed Skyrim from that. It looks very, very different. That I could have gotten Skyrim for. That would have been pretty Skyrim. That would have been very Skyrim. And that's about as Skyrim as it gets. Nice, alright, brought it back a little faster. Now this looks like Red Dead 1. Maybe Red Dead 2? It's one of the Red Deads, anyway. Oh, no, it isn't! I lied! Oh, crap. Bioshock. No, not Bioshock. Fallout, then, surely, if it's not Red Dead. Although I really was convinced it was for a minute there. Which Fallout would it be? 4? It's not a Fallout either. Maybe it is a Bioshock. Never mind, I have no idea what this is. Sorry, I was so confident on both of those first two. A game with a big, dry, Wild West setting. It's big 3D, nice-looking game. You go to an old, like, carnival in an old, like, saloon town. But then also there's a really pretty lighthouse overlooking a... I have no idea, and it's a PC exclusive, or originally anyway. It's not What Remains of Edith Finch, I don't think. That takes place in like a grey old spooky house, but I'm somehow getting the sense it'll be some kind of like, I don't use this term disparagingly, but walking sim type, experiential, maybe a bit horror game is kind of the vibe I'm getting from it. Like none of what I'm seeing here suggests combat or like puzzles as much as like experiential storytelling, especially with such the attention to detail on the sky over here. It looks gorgeous. And I can't tell if I know too few such games or too many such games to tell what this is. So let me just, so it's not Firewatch, because we're not in the forest. I don't think it's What Remains of Edith Finch, though I've not played that, because I think that takes place in a spooky-ish house. I don't know anything about Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, but I made it Hotline Miami with a blind guess, so Everyone's Gone to the Rapture is what this is. Boom. It wasn't that. Oh, it's a shooter. Okay, never mind. I was way wrong on the no combat thing. Oh, crap. Okay. So this has the vibe of like a big open world. It doesn't quite look PUBG. None of this does. Will it be some kind of Tom Clancy? Would it be a Clancy of Tom? Ghost Recon Shadow Wars doesn't sound right. Wildlands, maybe? That's a game, right? It's not a Tom Clancy. Actually, that does look kind of like PUBG, doesn't it? We haven't had that yet, have we? Player... Is it players plural possessive or single possessive? Players unknown? Player unknown? Unknown. PUBG, for God's sakes. Thank you. Okay. Okay, it was that. Okay, wow. I didn't... Maybe clearly I haven't watched much PUBG. I've watched a bit here and there. I've never seen either of these two places. I could maybe believe this being a PUBG map. And this looked like PUBG to me. I was just like, it can't be PUBG because of all this here. Wow, that one threw me for a wild loop. And this, I was certain this was Red Dead when we saw it up front. But I mean, it looks like that. Oh, hey now, Wii Sports. Oh, well, it's either Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. Or Wii Sports Club, I suppose. We recently basically 100%ed Wii Sports #1. Okay, so the thing is... I'm pretty confident it's Wii Sports because it has the Wii Sports color grading, I would have said. Although the sky looks a little not blue as I would have expected. So I'm really playing on the resolution here. Because they've had, if it is Wii Sports, they'll have had to zoom it in far enough that you can't see any of the gauges. Which means that this is zoomed in reasonably far. But Wii Sports, the first, is a Wii game, and Wii is 480p. 480p? No, it's 480i. If you're doing it on Wii U, it's like 480p slightly upscaled or whatever. And it looks more progressive scan than interlaced to me. But it looks almost a bit too good for 480p that is very zoomed in. Which makes me think it's maybe like Wii Sports Club, like with the remix. And that has shown up like kind of up front here in a sort of interesting way. Say Wii Sports. Okay, it was Wii Sports. I was overthinking it, as I so often do. And I mean, this looks pretty good for a zoomed in screenshot. We just 100%ed that, so you'd think I would have recognized this course, but for some reason I don't. Which hole is this? Where there's a little squiggly sand patch and then another sand... Oh, crap, no, this is the one... Okay, sorry. No, I think I do know this one. You start from over here, right? And then you have to... Your first stroke has to get you over here, and that's the tree I was always hitting. So this is like one of the 3 beginner holes, right? What other screenshots would they give? Okay, well, that's pretty telling. Basically, only Wii Sports looks like that. And that. And there you go. That's the gauge I was saying they were avoiding. And then that's pretty telling. And that's... It even says Wii on the ground there. Developer Nintendo. Right. So as usual, I've horribly overthought it. Okay, neat. This looks very cool. So, there are a few things I'm detecting already. So we've got a kind of pixel art style. The background is so detailed in a different way from the foreground that it makes me think that this is a newer game trying to pretend to be an old game. It's giving a bit of Shovel Knight. The thing that's tripping me up is there's this big smiley face in the background. It makes it look like there's like a jester in the purple shadows here, and that makes me think so strongly of Shin Megami Tensei, the little Jack Frost with a smile. But I think I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to go for Shovel Knight because that's what the color scheme says to me of the green tower we're looking at here. Boom! Not played Shovel Knight, but I've seen it played a few times. It looks quite cool. And it's got this kind of grungy green aesthetic over a lot of it, as you can see here. I wouldn't have got Shovel Knight from this, though, I can tell you that. Well, maybe I would have. That's Shovel Knight, though. I know roughly what the UI looks like. I didn't realize it was like such a Nintendo thing. Original platform PC, 3DS, and Wii U. There you go. Alrighty. Okay, so we've got a big billboard with a bunch of people with shades on it. If only I could read that, I might have a guess as to what this is. This is looking kind of PS2 era, maybe very early PS3 era. When I say era, I'm including, like, if I say PS3 era, I'm including, like, Xbox 360 in that. I'm just... PlayStation is a nice one to use because they're numbered. I feel like I should recognize this blue arrow here somehow. I feel like that's indicating... It's like it's indicating you're supposed to climb up here and then do something. Like that's like a non-diegetic quest marker. But I've not really got any guesses. I want to say Deus Ex, except it doesn't look dirty and creepy enough for Deus Ex. Deus Ex? Oh, maybe this is XCOM. That would explain like the blue lines indicating like where you can and cannot run in this one turn. So XCOM Enemy Within. It is an XCOM. I don't know any of the XCOM games. XCOM 2! XCOM... Enemy Unknown. There you go. Good thing XCOM was in my head from earlier. Oh, and here we go. Celeste. Good. That's an easy one. That's the Golden Ridge. Boom. No problem there. What other ones would they have given us for this? Yeah, that's in Reflection. This is in the old site or whatever it's called. This is the hotel. There's her talking to Granny. And why won't you go away? We've gotten 2 games we're currently playing right now. That's incredibly lucky. Ooh. Oh yeah, I should recognize this. I feel like I know of this. I don't feel like I've played this game, but I feel like I've seen this. It's some kind of fantasy thing. I think it has the vibe of an Elder Scrolls, but it doesn't. It looks better than or as good as Skyrim, which means it's not Oblivion, which means it's not Elder Scrolls, unless it's Elder Scrolls Online or something like that. Maybe Black Desert? I'm gonna try Black Desert. It kind of has that fantasy aesthetic to it. Okay, so I'm not on the wrong track that it's like an MMORPG sort of. Maybe it is Elder Scrolls Online. Except this looks like The Legend of Zelda. Well, I mean, it's not necessarily an MMORPG, but it's that kind of sort of game. If it isn't strictly an MMORPG. Except these icons, I feel like I should recognize them. But the way this map is designed looks so MMORPG-ish, does it not? And this is clearly some kind of fantasy thing. This is not like this won't be like a PUBG or something like that. There's a spooky crow. Let me go back to the first one. I feel like this little like sundial type thing is supposed to tell me a lot. Actually, let's just say Elder Scrolls Online, because that was my first thought was Elder Scrolls. Online. And that was kind of post Skyrim, wasn't it? So I could see the visuals being better. Oh, crap. No, this is... Okay, no. I've seen this played, but I'm not gonna remember what it is. Is it Divinity: Original Sin? I'm hoping that I've definitely seen this played, and like I can recognize the kind of game it is. It is like a multiplayer RPG kind of thing, kind of like a Baldur's Gate. Oh, it is a Divinity, but not Original Sin. Okay, so I'm on the right track. It's either original. Oh no, it's Original Sin 2 then. That's the only other game that is there. Perfect, marvelous. That was just a straight up remembering from me. Oh, interesting. Okay. We've got what looks like a tiny apartment or dorm room. I can't tell if this is like a player's like hideout or if this is like a broken out world in a survival game. Because the amount of light streaming in here almost could be from more than a window. It could be from like a hole in the ceiling, you know what I mean? It almost makes me say like We Happy Few or something like that. If it isn't, I'm actually not quite sure what game would be. This looks like moody high school drama based on what we're seeing here, right? So it could be a total mislead and this is just an area in the game and it has nothing to do with the story or anything. Or it could be something along the veins of a Life is Strange. Yeah, well, I guess I've only played Life is Strange 1, so let's try Life is Strange 2. Or True Colors. True Colors? It is not a Life is Strange. Oh, it's a little more spooky. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Sorry, for God so loved the world he gave his only son. Okay. So maybe a little more on the horror side of things. I feel like I recognize this library. Not from a game I played, but from one I've seen someone else play. Has the vibe of a horror game. I mean, this is just terrifying. Look at this cross. Looks like indie horror to me. Walking around picking up small objects that say creepy things on them and turning them around. That's like the indie horror experience. Not looking like We Happy Few anymore, really at all. I'm gonna need another one, I'm afraid. Katie, please tell Mom and Dad, sorry about the stuff that's missing. Sam. I do not think I know this one, I'm afraid. I perhaps have seen it played, but I wouldn't know the name, I don't think. I'm not recognizing this. Man, something had this in like 4th grade. Well, it's American then, because they said 4th grade and not grade 4. Genre narrative exploration. Maybe this is Edith Finch? I thought that was a bit more spooky than this. Sam's Journal Best Laid Plans. I'm afraid I won't know this one. 2013. Oh, this isn't a Dark Pictures game, is it? I'll feel like a real moron if I've only got that on the 5th one. House of Ashes? It's not a Dark Pictures, okay. The Fulbright Company. You got me. Gone Home! Right, so I had to write the kind of game it was, but I did not know about that one. If you had played it, you would know who this was. Very good. Okay, now this could obviously very clearly be a Fallout. But it could also be like a racing game and this is just background. No, that stuff looks playable over there, does it not? It looks a bit early. Maybe it's like one of the earlier Fallouts. What's the first like 3D one? Fallout 3, or is that still 2D? It is a Fallout. Fallout 4? Maybe they're just playing on low graphic settings. Okay, Fallout. No, that's definitely like not one of the newest ones. Brother to Steel? Oh, I don't know the Fallout games. Shelter? Oh, which was 76 one of the newer ones? When was that? Ah. New Vegas. I thought that was like one of the newest ones. Okay, I have the release date wrong in my head then. I pulled another Civilization here and been like, I didn't even know New Vegas was out. I knew New Vegas was out, but this is like the most popular one, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't think that was New Vegas. I thought that was Fallout 4. I've got that backwards then. At least I knew it was Fallout, if nothing else. This is a Zelda. It's Wind Waker. This is the Forest Haven Temple. Boom. Come on, you can't trip me up with Wind Waker. That's my favorite Zelda. I almost said Majora's Mask early on because it looks a lot like the Swamp Temple, whatever it's called. But then I saw this Thorny Vine and I was like, and then all the little sparkly blue things, and it was Wind Waker. 96 Metacritic score, well deserved. This is Dragon Roost Cavern. At this point, I'm just showing off I know every place name. This is Windfall Island. This is this is Link. This is Link carrying a pig on outset. This guy's name is like Dave or Andy or something. And then here is Link in Hyrule Castle with all the hearts, too. Wow, someone's a show-off. And it's not me. 10 more games. We're 2/3 down. Oh. This looks so familiar. This looks so... Is it No Man's Sky? No Man's Sky? Oh, why don't I know this when I feel like I should know it? Some kind of space exploration game, surely. Hurtling through space, and it's all fiery. I'm gonna need more than that, I'm afraid. KSP. Oh, Kerbal Space Program, is it? Damn. Actually, I was not gonna guess that at all from these first two, to be honest. I've only seen little bits of it play, but I thought it was a bit more cartoony looking than this. That is an exceedingly useful flag if you know the name of the game. What else could KSP stand for in any walk of life? Kill satin pigeons? No, I'm not sure. Ooh. Oh, this is very, very bright colors. And it's all like a painted aesthetic. This looks exceedingly cool. Do you think this will be like a cutscene, or do you think you'd be like walking along this? Oh, I have no idea what this is, but it's very, very cool. Well, I feel like I should know what it is. I feel like I should recognize the painted style. What it reminds me a little bit of, though, is the opening cutscene from Pikmin 4, where it's all kind of like brown scaled, like sepia tone. But I think I'm gonna need more than that. What? Okay, this has made things harder for me to understand. I know nothing. I almost definitely will not know the name of this game. At a cafe on a bright plaza, most customers sit back, feeling the warmth of the sun, enjoying their... I've got nothing. The art style is really cool, but I'm getting nothing from this. Platformer puzzle. I may know the name, but actually it looks almost a bit like it could be an old point and click. Like Day of the Tentacle or whatever, but it won't be one of those. I'm sorry, but the princess is in another castle. Number none. You're going to have to tell me that one. Braid! Was not going to get that. I've heard of it for sure, though. God, this first screenshot is gorgeous. Look at that. It also made me think a bit of Lost in Shadow. Very cool. Willamette, Colorado. Okay, wow, interesting. Throwing Russ right in with a place name and everything. Willamette, Colorado. Could this be some kind of flight sim? Because it almost looks like that's all a bit flat. Well, no, there's a bit. I think some of it's. I can't tell if it's. No, but these roads look so flat that it looks like this has been taken from satellite imagery. So I think this is a flight sim. Microsoft Flight Sim, but just which one? Not even close, baby. This will be. I gotta tip that something's big happening. This looks almost like a Dead Rising. You play as a journalist in that, don't you? Dead Rising 1? Dead Rising 1! Yeah, I wasn't going to get that from this ever, if you give me 30 guesses, but I haven't even played the game, and I know you play as a journalist, and you drop into a mall from a helicopter, so this kind of tipped that all off for me. I think you drop into a mall from a helicopter. Unless maybe this isn't your player character. I could be spouting complete nonsense because I haven't played the game, but from what little I know of it, that reeked of Dead Rising, this screenshot. Next up! You would definitely know it if you played this. It's a very distinctive style, but I've got nothing. That looks like Santa Claus sleeping, right? Let's just type Santa and see what things we have. Santa Claus saves the Earth? Oh, never mind. This looks an awful lot like Stardew Valley, doesn't it? Not that I've played it, but this UI looks very much Stardew Valley-ish to me. When does this happen in Stardew Valley? Is that like the intro or something, maybe? Right in here, you've got like a money counter and like a day, all this other UI. The next one's going to be like a farm patch. You're going to see plants and stuff. Sort of, yeah. I would definitely have gotten Stardew Valley from this. Always meant to play that, but from what I understand, it's quite a... Being that it's kind of like, it's like a mixed farm sim plus RPG plus like mystery game kind of thing. It can be rather a time sink because there's quite a lot to do. So I kind of don't want to play it unless I'm going to commit to it and get into it. But I've heard many good things from many people. Like what I've heard is that there are like deeper RPG mysteries to uncover, but you can also just kind of play it like a farming sim, like a Harvest Moon / Story Seasons. Nice. Okay. So we're at a police precinct, I assume. This looks like a police badge of some kind. I'm already kind of thinking Resident Evil. Like, if this says Raccoon City Police Department on it, then we can be pretty confident it's a Resident Evil. I even see a typewriter here, which is so Resident Evil. That's my current working theory, is one of the Resident Evils. So Resident Evil 1 is the only one I've played. It takes place in a house. And 2 and 3, which later got a big... somewhat recently got a big remake, which is what this looks like. I know it... So Resident Evil 2 takes place in the Raccoon City police station, if I'm not mistaken, and 3 takes place around Raccoon City. Whereas in 1, you're like in a mansion that's like a few clicks away from Raccoon City. But so this looks like a police station. I'm going to say Resident Evil 2. I feel reasonably confident about that. Not even close. It wasn't a Resident Evil. Okay. If only I could make out what this said on it, that'd probably give me some kind of clue. So this police office could have nothing to do with anything. Could be a prey, could be like a Deus Ex. I feel like this should tell me quite a lot more than it actually is. Deus Ex? Human Revolution? No. Oh, Control, maybe? You play as a cop in that, question mark? Yeah, boom. The red lighting is very much what I think of when I think of Control. I don't actually know if you play as a cop in it or not, but this screenshot gives me very much the vibe of Control, which I have not played also. Okay, come on now. That's kind of unhelpful. Okay, so from the way that this is clearly supposed to be like a rounded edge horizon line, but it goes like up in like little square chunks. We're looking at something of PS1, PS2 era. I'm tempted to say PS2 for reasons I'm not entirely sure of myself yet. Bright, snowy. I guess it could be, and so what this looks like to me is we're in a snowy field with like very, very close by draw distance, right? Because this is clearly snow falling. Unless it's like little shrubs way in the distance. So we're in a snowy field with snow falling. I feel like I've been here before, so I feel like I'm going to kick myself when we find out what it actually is. But it makes me want to say some kind of... Could actually almost be 64. That draw distance looks really close by. We already had GoldenEye, though, so it's not that. It looks too bright for that anyway. Tendy snowboarding? Nope. Minecraft? It looks an awful lot like Minecraft with like a few texture packs or something. Unless that means it's like Trove or something. I think it's Minecraft, right? In which case, this is mean. But Minecraft does have a draw distance option, and that looks an awful lot like that, so that makes a lot of sense. It is Minecraft. They've just been using texture packs and all kinds of stuff to throw you off. Mean. Oh, you old so-and-so. You almost got me with... This looks so familiar. It looks so familiar. Oh, this will be Counter-Strike, surely. I've not played it, but I've seen... It's so ubiquitous that... like, I would recognize such an environment anywhere. So it wasn't Counter-Strike the first. I know Global Offensive is pretty popular. It could be that. Yeah, there you go. A chicken with a Christmas hat wasn't going to tell me much. Yeah, the terrorists and counter-terrorists, that would have pretty much given it away, had you not known it was that, but known about the game at that point. But yeah, this just reeks of the Counter what I think of the Counter-Strike aesthetic as a being. And it's just so ubiquitous. You're like, you can't be in the gaming sphere and have never seen a clip of it, basically. Only 3 more games here. Okay, so this is looking very much like an N64 or PS1 game. I don't think it's a fake out where it's like a new game that they've lowered the draw distance on a whole bunch. It is giving me such the vibes of Glover. I can't exactly say precisely why. Boom! I mean, I guess just because that game has a really short draw distance. Yeah, I would have gotten it from this. I've not played Glover, but I've seen family play it. This is a game we played, well, my family played somewhat frequently as a kid, so. While I don't know any of the levels layouts or anything, I saw this and I was like, Glover? Is it Glover? I see Glover. One difference. And yeah, I mean, once you get to this point, it's like, well, there's a glove on a ball. There are only so many games it could be. I think they literally have the title here. It's just kind of sideways. They were like, no one's going to know this, so we can put the title in here. It's probably fine. 2 more. Let's do this. Ooh, okay. So we got a kid with spiky hair there. Spiky, sharp yellow hair. So this is like an anime game. It makes me think of Golden Sun, except I've never played a Golden Sun. It makes me look at the aesthetic of Golden Sun. Or maybe like Ape Escape or something? Only I thought all the Golden Suns were 2D. Maybe they have little pre-rendered cutscenes. No, I'm just going to go with my gut on this one because my gut's been reasonably on it this episode. So let's say Golden Sun, The Lost Age. Nope. Oh, Jack and Daxter maybe? And this is like a young Jack? Wait, no, Jack has green hair, does he not? It's kind of green and yellow. Maybe he dyes it green when he's older. The second character we saw looked like a Jack and Daxter character. So let me say Jack 2. Okay, so it is a Jack and Daxter. Okay, no, his hair is a bit yellower than I thought, but he looks like younger here or something, doesn't he? So I have no idea. I don't know much about the Jack, so I guess I'd have to guess whether the title sounds new or not. Well, let's just Precursor Legacy was the first one on the list. I may as well pick that. They sometimes will like put the more important one at the beginning of the list, so I should have just picked that one from the get-go. Not a bad guess from me there. Although Golden Sun wasn't an awful guess from this as well, I suppose. Does the protagonist of Golden Sun have yellow hair? Sure he does. Yeah, that looked a lot like this guy from this angle. Like a 3D version. So that was a decent guess. Very well, so our last game of the day. And it's an easy one. It is Papers, Please. Boom! That game is pretty hard to miss. The Labor Lottery. The October Labor Lottery is complete. Your name was pulled. Yippee! I wonder what are the other screenshots that would have been. You're under arrest for associating with suspicious groups. Oh boy. Not played this one either, but have seen it played several times. So this is how I did this time. I actually only missed, like properly didn't get 2 of them, which were 78 and 82, which were which ones again? Gone Home, which I didn't know anything about, and Braid, which I knew very little about. That was a solid game we played there. I was much slower this time. This took a long time, but we had many first guesses here. What were the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8... 9, 10. That means a third of the ones we got in a single guess here. I mean, that's to be expected in the earlier list because they're picking. They didn't necessarily know how long they would be doing this early on. I suppose it makes sense they'd be picking slightly more recognizable games for the first few months, and then they would be like, okay, well, clearly this is going to be a bit of a longer form thing, so let's try and pick more carefully and a bit more obscure and varied as this goes on. So which ones did I get on the first try? Hotline Miami, which was. I have no idea how I got that. I was like, it's sort of neon colors? Miami! Hotline Miami! Mario Galaxy was an easy one because we're literally playing it right now. Return of the Obra Dinn is pretty recognizable. Elder Scrolls 5 Skyrim, I just spent a lot of time picking flowers. Wii Sports, we played quite recently on the channel. Shovel Knight has a pretty distinct aesthetic, but I was kind of pushing my luck with this guess, I think. Celeste, we're playing right now, and I love its art style and all. Wind Waker is my favorite Zelda, so that was an easy one. Glover was a bit of a shot in the dark, but a blast from the past. And Papers, Please is pretty iconic. So Hotline Miami is the only one where it was like really, really psychic. The rest were just kind of like, okay, well, I recognize that. Oh, the rest of the ones I got in one go, I mean. But still, that was a quite a solid showing from me, I'd say. I'm quite pleased with that. Only messing up 2 of them is not bad. Too much fun. So that is all for now. Next video going on the channel is going to be another episode of Chill or Be Chilled, and the next main upload going up tomorrow will be some Super Mario Galaxy as it happens. So you can look forward to some more of this. And as per usual, if you played along with me, do feel free to let me know how you did in the comments. If you had some other guesses for some of these, or you were shocked that I didn't get the 2 that I missed, or that it took me as long as it did to get some of the other ones. Oh no, though, I'm pretty pleased with how I did that time. That was pretty solid. And like I said last Hat in Time video, because I've kind of been trying to make Guess the Game and Hat in Time mod levels more of a regular thing, I was thinking we could, I'd do them about every month, so I just slot them in at the earliest point where I don't have anything scheduled in my schedule, basically, which at the moment is mid-December, so you can look out for another one of these and Hat in Time mod levels on mid-December, owing to no horrible catastrophic delay in my schedule. But that's all. Thank you so very much for coming around. That was so much fun. Hopefully I'll see you around. Admiral's gonna be out of here now. Peace! group with that. Obviously, I'm not doing all the intense athletics he's performing. Your breath runs out a lot faster when you're doing all that stuff because your heart's pumping the blood and the oxygen all around. That is a pretty impressive breath capacity he's got. What was it saying before that? Right, so there's the water controls, you can spin to swim around, you can do a ground pound to like swim